Now, royalties and other payments have been a bone of contention between artists and various studios. Questions are being raised about the legislation that governs creatives' work and their fees and possible interest for late payments. Well, joining me tonight to discuss this issue further is veteran actress Vatiswa Ndara. She's penned an open letter to the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture voicing her concern on this issue. Thank you so much for your time tonight, Vatiswa. I'm going to try and not act like a groupie because I feel like I've just been translated into, you know, some kind of production. So I'm going to have to, you know, try and stay in my lane tonight. We've seen over the last couple of years artists continuously raising their voice around some of the grievances that they've been battling with behind closed doors. This is one of the rare instances where it relates to a series that is in production, where you've given us a glimpse of the contract, what it looks like, the information in there. Before we get into the details, what is the space that has really driven you to write this open letter and expose some of the things that are taking place?
Thank you for giving me the opportunity, Cathy. The thing is, over the years, I've been carrying a lot. I've been heavily burdened with so many things happening on sets, and you know, you keep quiet because you know what's going to happen. And also, there's just never been that good thing that's been said about me. You know, she's a diva, she's difficult, oh, good luck if you're going to work with her. And this is not only coming from the powers that be, it's from peers as well, and you don't even know where this comes from. So when this happened and I was offered this contract and I turned it down, there was then talk of the show being cancelled or being on hold. I'm not sure which one it is at this point. But there was so many things being said. Is she crazy? Why would she want this kind of money? This is South Africa. And now we're not going to work because she wants ridiculous amounts of money. So this just, you know, I was listening to all these things, and at some point I just thought, I'm tired of this. You know, there's so much, and we keep quiet. Why should I let this go on?
Let's get into the details then. The specific production you're referencing is Igazi, and you're saying that you were offered 110,000, this is before tax, for the duration of a 5-week shoot. Now, for the majority of South Africans who are within that middle income bracket, 110,000 Rand for 5 weeks is really a dream. Many would put their hands up for that. Why are you not happy with it?
Well, if I was going to get that every 5 weeks, that would be okay. But I'm going to get that, and it's going to be taxed, and I don't even know when I'm going to work again. You know, it's not automatic that after this shoot, I'm going to go into this one. We wait sometimes for years to get your next job. So 82,000 Rand, because that's what it was going to be, 82,500, how long is that going to last me? I've already got other things that I need to sort out. This is probably money that's going to last only, what, 2 days? And then what happens? Then you get the reports, oh my gosh, her kids are not going to school because she can't pay. And no one comes to our support when that happens. Yet our shows are constantly being played, and you get nothing out of that. It would have been okay if, you know, monthly there are these repeat fees, money that keep on coming into your account, but you get absolutely nothing.
And to those who say, well, it's a competitive industry, so as an artist, you partly sign up for the fact that you're going to do this once-off job. You know, does it really matter that you're getting paid 110K or 1 million Rand for the 5 weeks? Ultimately, the structure and the nature of the industry is not necessarily going to change.
But that's the problem. It needs to change. It needs to change. We need to, our talent is supposed to give us livelihood. You know, people say, yeah, but you're an artist. I mean, that doesn't have money. Who said? Who made that decision that as an actor in South Africa, you're not supposed to make money? Why are sports people making money with their talent? The talent is supposed to give us, you know, we're supposed to be able to live and provide for our families. So if it's not working, then why don't we shut it down? If it's not something that's, you know, that can sustain us, or that maybe is useless, then maybe we should consider shutting the industry down if it's not going to give people, you know, economic freedom.
What was the response that you received from the Fergusons when you raised this matter? And I ask that question because they're the particular media house that you have referenced in this open letter to the minister.
And just to add on to that, in the letter, I mentioned the Fergusons because this was the latest incident. I do say they are contributing to something that's been there. It's a bigger problem. They've just added on to it. They didn't even talk to us. The tone of the email is, this is what we offer, and that's it.
Take it or leave it.
There's no negotiation. There was no negotiation. Oh, she can't do it? If that's the kind of money, we can't afford that. They did, in their defense, push it up to 120,000 Rand. And mind, this 110,000 was offered to all the leads. We were all offered the same amount. And so there's no, you don't even know what the script looks like. You might have more work than other people, but you're all on the same level, according to them. So we haven't had a discussion with the Fergusons.
I want to take you back to something you said earlier about being quiet over the years because you're aware of what's going to happen. Now that you have spoken out, what do you think is going to happen? So what are the considerations that you have had to make, even about your career, that may arise simply out of you being so vocal?
I fully understand. I mean, these are things that some producers will even say to you that you will never work in this industry again. And we're so used to these threats now. It doesn't matter. Whether I'm working or not, it makes no difference because I'm unable to make a living when I'm working. I'm unable to pay for my daily things. So whether I'm blacklisted or not, I'm blacklisted whilst I'm still working. So for me, I've had to look at what's been happening over the years, and I think I was just a walking time bomb. Yeah. It got to a point that I just couldn't keep quiet anymore. The past couple of weeks, I couldn't even sleep. You know, every day I'm thinking about this. How can we make it right?
It's been interesting to also note the reaction that there has been to the letter that you've written. A lot of South African actors and actresses have been supporting you openly on social media, really, I think, resonating with part of what you've written. Yeah. There are also those sectors of society who say, but hey, we see actors and actresses and celebrities like yourself all the time showing us how much money they have, how good their lives are. So why should we feel sorry for entertainers when in fact yours is the life that many want to live?
Fortunately, I'm not one of those. My life is so boring because I don't have the money to make it exciting. But sometimes those that do that, it's because they're trying to stay alive mentally and psychologically. They don't want to drown. Because once you want to uplift yourself, let me walk in Sandton City so people can see that I'm happening. You are not. Inside you are dying. You've got nothing at home, but you just want to stay above the water. You're just barely surviving. But you just don't want to drown and wallow away with all the doom and gloom of what's going on in your life.
The minister has acknowledged receipt of your letter. Yeah. What do you want him to do?
To make it right.
How?
I did say in the letter, you know, it would be great to have a meeting of stakeholders and see what can be done immediately and what the plan is moving forward. I mean, I think also it would be lovely if the minister could set up an inquiry to see how these contracts are awarded. What is the procedure? Can they investigate the monies that were supposed to be paid to the people that, if they really got to the people that they were meant for? And if that hasn't happened, people must get their back pay.
So are you saying that as far as you see it, the issues that you've raised in this letter around contractual agreements, the remuneration, is not because production houses don't have enough money, but you would go as far as saying that they do have money, but that money is simply not filtering down to those that are doing the hardest work.
Well, they display the money they get. They display the money. So, and if obviously if a show is going to come for a season 3, then something right has been done. You know, you have people who want to pay, who pay for adverts. They, you know, so there's advertising revenue that comes in as a result of these shows. So the thing is that the whole process is not transparent. We don't know the figures. We just told there isn't enough money. Why should we believe you? Show me that there is no money.
Do you think that this is a process that needs to involve carriers of these productions, whether it's at the national broadcaster or even private and independent carriers?
Everywhere. You know, I just think everybody has to come together to make it clear as to what it is that needs to be done to make this career path sustainable for everybody. You know, and I'm not even only talking about us. Everybody, even crew, suffer on these sets. You have women who are in other parts of the world, an HOD of a department is driving a car. But here, they are, the cost-cutting measures are so dangerous, they could be life-threatening and even cost people's lives because no one cares. No one cares how that female gets to her place in Soweto at 1 o'clock in the morning. She doesn't have transport, and that's your problem.
Very briefly, Vatiswa,
Yeah.
What is the impact of this for the industry going into the future if nothing changes?
It means some of us must just leave it. Because if nothing is going to change, then what's the point? What is the point? If nothing will ever change and a step and a stand is not taken, then there's just no point.
All right. Well, we'll certainly be looking to hear what the response from the minister is, and we'll also reach out to get a response from various production companies. You'll see it's an issue that has gained quite a lot of traction today. Last I checked, it was on the #1 now trending topics, particularly on Twitter. So it's creating a lot of conversation, but we'll see whether or not that conversation will lead to tangible results. Vatiswa Ndara, veteran actor, and she's of course putting her hand up and adding her voice, raising her voice rather, to this plight.